In this episode of the podcast, we take a look at the movie Teen Spirit, written and directed by Minghella, starring Elle Fanning and Zlatko Buric. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we saw Teen Spirit at the 2019 Atlanta Film Festival. We'll tell you all about it right after we tell you all about the Atlanta Film Festival.
Oh, we loved this film festival. This is definitely one of our favorites, and it is for many people. It's a 10-day film festival featuring both movies and conferences. It's one of the 25 coolest film festivals in the world, and one of the 50 film festivals worth the entry fee by Movie Maker magazine. That's what they're quoted in. What I love, too, the volunteers are amazing. There's a lot of work that goes into this. Loved the theaters that host the movies. Just the whole experience was a lot of fun, Tim.
This is a film festival that hosts almost 30,000 people every year, and they get over 8,000 submissions. So, big film festival.
Yeah, and we were blessed to have been hosted by the entire festival and just felt really lucky we got to go and see so many movies. But we are going to go ahead and review Teen Spirit.
This movie is about Violet, a teenager who dreams of escaping her small town and pursuing her passion to sing. With the help of an unlikely mentor, she enters a local singing competition that will test her talent. Driven by pop-fueled soundtrack, Teen Spirit is a visceral and stylish spin of the Cinderella story. It's set in the Isle of Wight off the coast of England, an island with a population of 140,000. What's interesting is this is Minghella. He both directed and wrote this. This is his first directing debut.
Oh, that's right. He did The Handmaid's Tale.
He's an actor in The Handmaid's Tale and The Mindy Project and Horns.
Oh, Horns. I forgot about that.
And a few others. This is a movie with a cast of unknowns, but the main two actors in this are Elle Fanning, who's not an unknown, and Zlatko Buric, who plays Vlad, the mentor.
Yes, and the first thing I want to say is happy birthday, Elle. It's her 21st birthday. I think it was last week. The runtime on this movie was 92 minutes. It was rated PG-13 for some suggestive content and for teen drinking and smoking. I'm going to say right off the bat that I enjoyed this movie. Why? Not because of the main character, because I don't know that I was personally that invested, but I loved the other characters. And I loved the story of unlikely meeting strangers and how they help you in life or you help them. I love that take on this movie.
Yeah, it was a take on the Cinderella story, a rags to riches kind of thing. I thought Elle Fanning was perfect for the role. She was very moody. She played a moody character.
Sultry. Yeah.
As April said, though, it was kind of hard to sympathize with her, and she wasn't a real likable character. And it's just the way that I think the script was written and the way it was directed. It was hard to accept her and really care about her. The other interesting, well,
wait just a minute. I want to say that, no, I did care about the character. I wanted to know her better because she was the part about me not investing was more because we didn't get to know her.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll give you that. They didn't really introduce her plight and how she got to where she was and everything. So
right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. I won't disagree with you.
Okay.
The acting was pretty good, though, I thought.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
And hats off to Zlatko Buric. I thought he stole the show.
He did. He was absolutely amazing. Not to mention that Elle can sing. I also loved the mother-daughter, the tension they worked through and how they did a resolution in an area in their relationship. So I thought that was good. But Tim, he was such a good actor. It's, how do I pronounce it?
Zlatko Buric.
Zlatko. Okay, he was this movie. I loved how they started with his character and you don't know anything, and they built. I loved the way they did that in the movie, but I just really enjoyed how he made a difference in her life, and also just the whole thing about how she was stuck and she found an area and an opportunity to get unstuck.
Well, the interesting thing, because this was a Cinderella story type of movie, but it was also a buddy film.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they did a really good job of developing the friendship between Violet and Vlad.
Yeah, that is a good point.
To me, it was a Cinderella story, but to me, it was definitely a buddy film.
Good point. And I always talk about that, what we learn from other people. And many, many lessons in life are learned not from people closest to you, but from strangers. So,
the direction was okay. Didn't really notice any influence of the director in the movie. The movie had a great score. That's one thing. The pop songs and such.
Fabulous.
I thought they did a really good job with that. Cinematography, okay. They did a good job there. They made the island of Wight seem like it was dreary and not a fun place to be.
Right, but it was still beautiful. I want to go.
Production design, there wasn't really anything there. The sets were fine. Special effects, well, there was no special effects in the movie.
True. I want to talk about the pace because I felt like it actually moved along really well.
Yeah, it wasn't, there was nothing boring about this movie.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, you go in the movie, and I know people have certain expectations. They sit down, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. And that's always a nice surprise in a movie. This
is only an hour and a half movie, and they crammed a lot into that hour and a half. So it wasn't really slow at all. And the dialogue was pretty good, too. I thought some of the lines that Vlad had, and I wish my memory was good enough that I could quote you back some of the lines, because he had some great classic lines in this that were well delivered and well timed. And I thought the writing was really good on that.
I did, too. And I just loved the flow of the movie. I just, for me, also, how much I like closure, too, to a really good story. And hats off. I mean, we enjoyed ourselves.
They don't leave you hanging on this one thinking, that you don't have to fill in the blanks at the end of the movie.
Absolutely. How are you going to rate this movie, Tim?
For me, this movie it's a solid 3, maybe a 3.5. I liked it. The one thing that bothered me about this movie, and I thought about afterwards, this movie does not have an antagonist. There's not a bad guy in this movie.
You're right.
So almost to the point that I think Violet was her own protagonist and antagonist in this movie because she had a lot of self-doubt. So It seemed to be at times she was going against herself. So it was interesting in that regard. So once again, for me, it was a solid 3, maybe a 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to give it in the middle, actually, of a 3 and a 3.5 because the story was great. It was different and I enjoyed it. But again, I wanted to know her better so that I could have invested personally in that character a little bit more. I thought she did a good job, though. I mean, portraying the age of her character, and her singing is through the roof. I was very, very impressed with that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. She can sing. She's got some great sounds. So I was a fan, but I'm just glad we were invited. I'm glad we got to experience the amazing Atlanta Film Festival. We're grateful for all the other opportunities and invitations we're getting around the nation, actually. So thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Tim? Yeah, thank you so much. And please, if you haven't told your friends about our podcast, please let somebody else know how you enjoy listening to us talk about movies.
We will see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.